The state Supreme Court ruled this week in favor of state regulations of hydraulic fracturing, overturning local bans in Longmont and Fort Collins. The court ruled that state regs supersede any local measures. Anti-fracking activists promised to respond to the ruling with a ballot issue addressing the situation. In fact, I think on Friday they were planning a big protest. We saw a press release about that. Joey, did this all but guarantee this is going to be just strictly be a ballot fight?
No, I don't think so at all. I have been watching these fractivists for the last couple of years, and I think they've run out of gas. I got to tell you, the group that's there now just doesn't have any money. I don't see a lot of organization there. And if you're going to go up against oil and gas, which has, oh my God, money, you're not going to beat them with bake sales. So until somebody like, Jared Polis, Pat Stryker, Patty Calhoun, George Soros stroke a check, I say show me the money and we'll go from there.
John, some of this makes me feel that the fact that we've seen low oil prices for at least over a year now and much less production. You're not seeing thousands of wells opening up and backyards, things like that. It's really retracted. It'll be hard to get folks in the independent side of things. Environmentalists are always going to be against fracking. But those folks in the middle that decide election issues, it'll be hard to kind of see if they're really that angry about it. Because of that, do you think these ballot issues won't happen this year?
I don't know if the ballot issues will happen. The bottom line is unless they can prove that the fracturing process does something to the plates and causes Colorado to have more earthquakes than anywhere else in the world, I would say I support fracking. Bottom line is we have refined more Texas sweet crude oil here in Colorado, and the gas that has been brought out of the ground with the fracking processes has helped keep the gas prices very low in Colorado as well. OPEC has played their part. They've cut the price of the barrel of oil, and that's what has caused all these plants to shut down. In essence, the bottom line is Congress needs to rescind the Clinton Act that said we are not going to export any crude from America. This came in the 70s or whenever, and they have not acted on that. We can't send this Texas sweet crude, which we don't have any plants that can refine this. We can do the Brent if we get it out of other countries, but we can't do we can't refine the products that we're doing here. Bottom line for me is, having talked to family farmers all over the northern Colorado and eastern plains, they love it. This is allowing them to stay on their land just a little bit longer when the government has really set them adrift.
Patty, it feels that the compromise that John Hickel released headed regarding the headlines that got these ballot issues off the ballot in 2014 when this was really a hot issue, and now it seems to be kind of fizzing in 2016. Could it be another couple years before we see a ballot fight?
Oh, I think we might still see a ballot measure this year, because remember, that was the one when Polis at the last second, they worked out a deal. Even though he is not so involved this round, we have to remember the people who can go get the petition signatures easily are those who are activists, those who have causes. Now, they can go out and do it without even having to rely on a paid petitioner or Robert Blaha. So I think that it's very likely we will see at least one fracking-related proposal on the ballot. But what we will also see is the war chest that the oil and gas companies, even though gas prices are so low, even though their bottom line has been falling, they've managed to come up with, what have we read in the Post, $6 million to fight whatever is going to come up. So we will see the fractivists squashed like bugs, probably, with whatever they come up with in November.
David, last time, 2014, there was multiple issues. You had a bunch from anti-fracking folks. You had a bunch from the oil and gas company. Do you think if we're going to see anything this year, it's going to be a focus point on what we heard from this particular court ruling?
Sure, that would be the thing to go for. And if you put the issue of, say, local control on the ballot, that's more popular, just when you say it that way, than what these war on science people are after, which is a complete ban on all oil and gas production, because they're essentially like, you could have Muslim or Jewish extremists just say, not only am I against eating pork, I don't want anybody else to do it. It offends me that this is going on, and it's not really on a scientific basis that pork or fracking are unhealthy for you. They're actually both good for the environment and both good for the economy. But whatever, they've got their moral objection, and they want to take it to the ballot, as they have the right to do under our system. The Colorado Supreme Court, which has a lot of left to right-wing ideological diversity, didn't make an ideological decision. They just said, what is the law? When the legislature says we want to have uniform state rules on something, that's generally what happens, and local governments can't go against that. If you want to change that, the legislature could vote to change it, or the people could vote to change it if they choose to do so. But I hope the people listen to the scientists and not to the hysterics.